Welcome back. This is Shannon from Horseshoe Firearms. Today we're going to do a review and feature of the PSAK-47 Gen 3. This is the Zhukov edition, MOE. And to start off with, this has got Pro Mag Roller Mag, 40 round magazine in this AK. PSA has been making their AKs now for quite some time. We have gone through Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3s, and they are steadily making more models available. This is a personal firearm of mine, and we're going to go over some of the features that we have here. First of all, we're going to start back here with the stock. The stock is a folder, and in order to fold this stock, you'll need to push in a button here. It does have QD mounts for your sling attachment in the rear, and it has one here in the front, and it also has a slot if you want to do it if you want to carry it in that fashion. To fold the stock, it's as simple as pushing a button and folding it over, and then it becomes a much more compact firearm. We have on this one, we've already installed a sling mount here in the front. It does have the one that most typically you'll find on AKs of this variant. It'll have the sling mount here in the lower handguard takedown area. This one has a 3-prong flash hider that I installed in it from Numrich. I also have a scope rail here for the side mount and a TRS Bushnell TRS 25 red dot. I prefer the red dot. You can put a magnified optic on here if you'd like. You have your standard rear sight, front post sight as well. If you're accustomed to AKs, that's what you're used to looking at. That's what we have here as well. PSA's done a really good job with this one. As far as the rivets and the overall build quality of this, I'm fairly happy with what we got going on here. To remove the magazine, it's just as simple as hitting the magazine release and pulling the mag out. We are empty and we're on safe. Of course, you have mag pull grip. The mag pull handguard is there. Really like the way this gun looks as it is. For the modern look, it's definitely got it. Weight is the same, typical AK weight. There's really no difference there as far as I can tell. As far as function, I've had no problems out of this one. Shot several times so far. I haven't got a round count because I really don't keep up with that whenever I'm shooting as much as a lot of people do. But we've had a lot of fun shooting this gun, as you'll see in our shooting video. And you can go to, I believe there's 5 positions on this one. I will tell you from experience, when you're shooting this with the stock fully collapsed, it does have a tendency to slap pretty hard. And that could be the fact of the ergonomics and how this rifle and how you hold it. But with it fully collapsed, it was slapping pretty hard in my cheek. I ended up pulling it back all the way extended, and that seemed to remedy that, and it's an actual pleasure to shoot. And now we're going to head to the range and shoot a few rounds. Gosh, that's a lot of bullets. Actually, I'm gonna pull this. It's slapping me pretty good. Okay, back from the range, and we're going to go through a cleaning of the AK-47. So first of all, I got to take my rail off here, and it just slides off with the side mount rail, and it locks on with a quick detach. First and foremost, of course, we do know that this gun is clear, and we're good. Safety is on. You may need to move that down a little bit out of the way for the dust cover. And that will come off. So dust cover, then your recoil spring will come out, and that's what you'll have on the inside. So you'll be able to clean all this stuff. Then your bolt and the piston system will come out. And then if you want to go even further, you'd pop this up, and then your heat shield and piston guide will come out if you need to clean that. I've cleaned this one recently, so I'm not going to worry about this part of it, but we'll just go over the main components to clean. So as you can see, this piston got a little bit of residue on that. And our bolt carrier. Will separate from the piston guide or piston rod. Give this a nice wipe down. Over time, this piston head will get junked up with powder residue and leftover carbon. You may need to get you a scraper tool if you put a lot of rounds through to clean that off. I like to wipe the whole carriage, get inside the cam area. Now another thing, and I've heard this on several forums and other videos, PSA uses what they call a puzzle piece rear trunnion, and that is back here. Some earlier generations of their builds, they were having some issues with this rear trunnion, whether it was too soft is basically the problem, and they were getting wear marks, and back here on the piston and the bolt housing, they were having problems with this part of that little knuckle right there was getting mushroomed out. I've not experienced that in this build. I've not run thousands of rounds through this gun like some of the torture tests that you've seen, so I've not noticed any deformation there. The bolt carrier, the cams and the lugs have wear, but I don't see anything abnormal yet. Not with mine anyway. Other than that, I mean, this is as AK as it gets. They're very robust and designed to function under extreme conditions. And from what I've seen of this PSA version, the quality is pretty decent. Now there are other types of AKs out there, other makers, the Arsenals, as people are familiar with, and some of the other builds that you see. You know, that is a preference thing. It's really there's a lot of similarities, but they're not all the same. So you kind of got to do a little bit of research to know what you're getting into. With this one, I can't be happier with what I got for the price point. In my opinion, PSA has done a really good job, and they listen. They seem to take what people are saying about the issues they've experienced in the earlier builds, and they're constantly innovating and trying to correct anything that they find is problematic. But so far for me on this one in particular, I've not noticed any problems whatsoever as far as that goes. Next, we'll snake our barrel. problem. It's going to be a problem with the snake. And I'll wipe down the bolt. Each time I do this, I just do a visual check of the parts and look for any unusual wear. I'm not noticing anything out of the ordinary here at all. Wipe down the recoil spring. And I always wipe down the inside of my dust cover as well, because that's where a lot of this residue and leftovers will appear. And for reassembly, we'll take our piston and our bolt, get it in the cam locked area there. There's the send that all the way home. Put our recoil spring in, dust cover, this is always a little tricky, and that's it. Too bad. Overall, from what I've seen that's come into the shop and handled personally, PSA's done a wonderful job. And like I said, they're constantly revising things and taking whatever customers have found as problematic. But like I said, I've not had any issues out of this one. But others, you know, your mileage may vary on that. We're probably going to try to get more of these in as we go and do more reviews on them as well. Please check the description and like and subscribe.